my friends, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, hello, my name is Nicole. On this channel, I typically post about how we can be more feminine, how we can be more elegant and leveled up, and maybe some of the things that we can DIY at home, and then that leaves space and resources so then we can then go see a professional. Because I find when we see professionals for things, when we are at a even playing field and a level ground, that allows us to move through that experience a lot faster and a lot more effectively and successfully. So with that, let's get into today's video. I want to talk to you about some of the feminine qualities you will actually need, because again, there's a lot of posts on this on YouTube, and for me, I think that it's great hearing we need to bake, we need to be kind. Let me know if you saw that other video where I like talk about,
I had one question. I said, well, is he nice? Because if he wasn't kind, it just didn't.
Is he kind? But I think those are all great, but equally I think, what do these things look like in real life? Like, let's be honest, because I think some things sound fluffy and sound cute for YouTube and for Instagram, but what do they actually look like in real life? So with that, the first thing that I want to speak to is learning to turn the other cheek, because often I think people think that, you know, you might get into altercation with someone and you have to learn to walk away and you might not be friends with that person anymore. But what happens if that person is like a constant in your life? I'll be honest with you, I had a very different opinion on some things with two of my closest girlfriends, and one of these girlfriends I think had a great way of coming to me and being like, you know what, maybe we don't see eye to eye on this. That doesn't mean that our friendship has to come to a crossroads. Whereas the other friend literally blanked me for like 6 to 7 months. And I didn't feel like in the moment the way that I was being treated was very fair. However, with saying that, I think that sometimes you have to learn to turn the other cheek when maybe you don't have someone treating you in the way that you feel that you should be treated. I don't think that you should always be lashing out or getting the person back. I think that it is a very feminine quality to learn to turn the other cheek and give grace to people. And I think that is a very practical but also tangible tip that you will have to take with you throughout your femininity journey. The next thing that I would love to speak to is having empathy. I'll be honest, one of my pastors at home, which side note, I went to a church where a lot of my pastors were my age, and I believe it was like the biggest young adults Christian community in North America, like something weird like that. So it was really awesome to have, you know, pastors that were leading you, but that were also going through a similar place in life as you, or were just a few years ahead of you, because they were really able to minister into that. That being said, one of my pastors, he was like, you really lack empathy, hey? And I think the thing is that I think we've all had challenges in life, but I have had some challenges in life, and I've really had to kind of break through some of the hardships of life. And I think that made my capacity for empathy to go down. And it's not a very feminine quality to not be empathetic to others. So I think that is something that you will really have to take on board, is that if you're looking to be more feminine, you will have to understand that there is a purpose and there is a value in being soft and being vulnerable. Now, the next thing I feel like is going to be a little bit controversial, but I do think that if you are looking to harness your feminine energy and you are looking to really adapt feminine qualities that you will actually need, I think you are going to have to understand that on some level of the topic that you will have to adapt some homemaker qualities. Now, I think when you see homemakers, just like, you know, people that say that they're feminine, that feminine nature or archetype is going to look different across the board. Now, although I do think that this point is going to be a little bit controversial, I do think that if you are really looking to harness your feminine qualities, you are going to have to address the fact that you will be some type of homemaker. Now, some people are the homemaker type of person, and I feel like there's different archetypes for different feminine women, and equally there is going to be archetypes for people that are different, you know, homemakers. I don't think that we all have to consider ourselves to be a homemaker if we are all making bread or making, you know, things from scratch. However, with that being said, I do think that if you are looking to harness and cultivate more feminine qualities that you will actually need, you will need to look at your homemaking qualities. I think that maybe if you are somebody who you don't like getting down and getting dirty and doing the cleaning, you will have to look at what what you can practically put into place in combination with a cleaner and what that looks like. Furthermore, I do think that if you are somebody that, you know, you want to do the cooking and you want to do the cleaning, you do have to start practicing those skills before you are in the situation. I mean, if you want it to go smoothly, that is. Now, the next thing that I think that you will need to consider if you are looking to harness more feminine qualities in 2021 that you will actually need is you will need to understand and grasp the fact that you are a creator. Women, we were made to create. We can create life, literally. And I think the minute that you kind of understand that as a feminine woman, you have characteristics and qualities in you that is going to allow you to create, you're then able to create in other areas of your life. Maybe that is with cooking, maybe that is with opportunities, maybe that is life, etc. I think that the minute that you understand that a feminine quality is literally understanding you have the power to create things, it's gonna take you really far. Now, I've mentioned this in a few videos now. I absolutely love the podcast Homemaker Chic. And one of the things they say on that podcast is do less but better. I think often we think that we need to be doing a lot more things when really if we did the few things that we are doing in our day-to-day life, but we do them but better, that goes so much farther. So for me personally, sometimes I will make a cake or I will bake something. And I hate using the example of baking because I feel like everybody talking about femininity is like to be feminine is baking, and there's so much more to being feminine than baking. Furthermore, this Christmas I made a banana cake type thing, and I saw my friend Leanne had garnished it with like sprigs of her Christmas tree and dried oranges around it, and it was beautiful because I had gifted her with one of these loaves of banana bread, and my cake at home was just on a plate. It wasn't garnished, it wasn't adorned, it wasn't anything. And after I saw Leanne do that, I was like, I'm gonna do that too, and it looks so much more beautiful. And I think that's just like a small sentiment to, you can take something like cooking, and if you literally just slice up some lemons and garnish it on the plate, it looks so much more appealing, it looks so much more beautiful. And again, I think it comes back to that whole creation part. You can create something and adorn it in a way that's going to be a lot more feminine, and it just evokes a certain sentiment in you. And when I cook like that or I garnish a plate like that, my husband feels so much more like special, and that like I feel like the experience is so much more special because it looks more special. I think we like to dismiss the ways that things look, but in actual reality, when you go to a resort or when you go to a fancy hotel or when you go to a wedding, these things make you feel special. But I think you can totally take these little things and really implement it into your everyday life and cultivate that special moment, like how you feel when you are at a wedding and you've just been served with this beautiful plate, or you walk in and you see the beautiful floral arrangement. I think you can really cultivate that in your day-to-day and in your home life, which will really harness like feminine qualities that you actually need. Now, the next feminine quality that I think you actually need, and that is actually practical and isn't baking, is slowing down. I've said it in so many videos, but you do not see women who are elegant. Like, could you picture Kate Middleton just running around insane? You couldn't picture it because she doesn't do it. I'm sure she does it. She's human. I'm sure she does it, but I think you know what I mean. Slow down, take the time, stop eating on the go, stop, having the bagel hanging out of your mouth and like grabbing your things as you're running out the door and then doing your mascara in the car. That is not elegant. It is not feminine. Take the time to plan these things out. Speaking of plan, I think when we plan, that gives us space to live, and then that allows us to be more feminine and more intentional in our day-to-day. So if you are like me and you can be a little bit unorganized, I literally, on this bed alone, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Do you think I'm lying? 1, 2, 3, 4, and the other one's too far. Oh my goodness, I know my shortcomings, and that allows me to, put safeguards in place so I don't succumb to my shortcomings. So I think when you plan things out, you're going to be able to, move a little bit more effortlessly through life, and then that will evoke a more feminine quality in you. Do you know your love language? Let's talk about acts of service. I think that we all will have our own love language. Furthermore, if you can treat somebody, if you can serve somebody, that is going to cultivate a very feminine energy in you. That might not always look like cooking for someone. Again, I think a lot of times when you are watching videos in this femininity space, we hear, oh, have we baked for someone? Have we cooked for somebody? Have we, you know, and that's great. That is really great. But sometimes I think that you can do an act of service by just even sending someone something. My friend Leanne, she was complaining about her neck, and so I knew her address, and in Amazon, I typed in her address and I sent her a neck massager. Sometimes being able to serve people will allow them to understand that you are hearing what they're saying. I think that one of the easiest ways to serve somebody is by listening to them. Now, whether you follow that up with a gift or whether you follow that up with a surprise is like completely up to you. But I think one of the best and most practical ways that it will really help harness your feminine energy and allow you to harness qualities that you will actually need is listening and then taking action after you've done that listening. And if you have listened, you will be able to then assess what is the best course of action of how you can serve somebody from there. I heard this quote many years ago, and it was basically that we often listen only to consider how we are going to respond instead of actually listening to what the person is saying. So I'm going to leave you with this. I really challenge you to really listen to what someone is saying, and if you catch yourself starting to think about how you are going to respond or think about what you have to input in that conversation, I really challenge you to stop doing that and really devour and consume what the person is saying, because that is going to be one of the most practical qualities that you will need to harness as a feminine woman. Because when you can listen, you truly can understand what impact you can make in somebody's life. Did you enjoy this video? Did you learn anything in this video? I would love to hear your feedback and your comments in the comment section, or feel free to message me on Instagram. My DMs are always open. Thank you so much for watching, my friend. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you considered subscribing, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.